Now at 7, more reason for you to get ready for Monday, January the 29th. That is the start of tax filing season. And tonight's message, file your taxes before the thieves beat you to it. I'm joined now by Kelly Jackson. She's a special agent in charge of the Miami Field Office for the IRS. And thank you very much for joining us. And we should probably start with you elaborating on your job. You're not just checking tax returns, you're investigating possible crimes for the IRS, right?
That's correct. The Criminal Investigation Division is an arm of the IRS, and we are responsible for investigating criminal violations of the Internal Revenue Codes.
All right, well, let's start with folks who are now getting all their information together so they can file their tax returns, and maybe they need help. Yes. And there's a lot of tax preparation services out there. Right. What do you look for to find a tax preparer that's legit?
Okay, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to be here today. There's a huge problem with return preparer fraud, both for the IRS and everybody that's a tax-paying citizen. And we really have a problem here in South Florida with unscrupulous return preparers committing fraud against our citizens here of South Florida. So some of the things that we advise our citizens to do is ask your return preparer for their creds. That's one thing. A return preparer, a legitimate return preparer, should sign your return as the preparer of that return. Every paid return preparer is issued a PTIN number. It's a preparer tax identification number. So they should put that on your tax return. You should also get a copy of the tax return that return preparer provided or prepared for you. And the return preparer should also charge you a fee based on the service they're providing, not on the refund amount that's on the tax return.
Now, this is so important because these folks are getting all your personal information. What are the signs that you're dealing with somebody who is not legitimate?
Okay, so some of the things you should look for is somebody who is not interested in you as a client of the return preparer business. Somebody who just takes your information and doesn't go through the return with you, doesn't go over the return with you. Those people are probably just taking your identification, filing a false return, pocketing the refund, and you could, none be the wiser. You should avoid anybody who asks you to sign a blank form. That's a sure tell sign that it could be somebody who's preparing a fraudulent return for you.
What about somebody who promises you a big tax refund?
Yeah, the saying that we always say, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And no matter who does your return, the refund should be the same. So your information, your income, your expenses throughout the year, they don't change on January 29th. Everything has already happened. So if you went to 2 different return preparers, legitimate return preparers, the bottom line should be the same. Because what happened to you during the year, or the income you had, or the expenses you had, has not changed.
Well, do you think with the change in the tax law, I know it's not going into effect until next year, but it may cause some confusion, and there may be more people out there trying to take advantage of that confusion out there?
Oh, absolutely. With any new change in the tax law, there's people that are going to prey on other people, because obviously taxes are something that is not easy. Preparing a return, about 60% of the taxpayers seek a paid preparer to do their return. So that's a large number of the returns that are filed with the IRS that come into the IRS through a paid return preparer. So it's very important that you choose wisely and that you ask the preparer questions and that you're actively involved in the preparation of that return.
Does the IRS recommend or give a thumbs up if you find a tax preparer you're not sure about? Is there a way to contact the IRS about that?
Yeah, there absolutely is. On irs.gov, and you can look up return preparers, and there's a listing. You can actually, and I did this before I came here today, I pulled up the zip code for Plantation, where our main office is, and it gave us, within a 5-mile radius, 324 certified, whether they're CPAs, enrolled agents, preparers in that 5-mile radius. So you can go to irs.gov and find a good certified preparer. The IRS doesn't necessarily back any preparer, but we will give information to the public as far as the preparers that have, you know, CPA licenses, they're enrolled agents, they have certifications and other additional training.
Valuable information to have. So much money at stake. Kelly Jackson from the IRS, thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us.